So, yesterday's video was talking about Dylan Larkin and Jamie Benn. Well, not just those two. We talked about Larkin, we talked about Jamie Benn, we talked about Ottawa Senators rookie Shane Pinto, and the entire conversation surrounding Benn and his, let's just say, repeated actions of jamming his stick into other people's necks and backs and all that stuff in a very cross-checking kind of way. And yesterday's video kind of explored just the inconsistencies with the NHL and trying to crack down cross-checking and how it's very clearly not working because we're still seeing Jamie Benn doing that stuff, which is why Shane Pinto was involved, because that happened the other night as well. But today's video is going over a piece on the Detroit Free Press. I'll leave a link in the description to freep.com. Articles written over here by Helene St. James. The title is this: The Detroit Red Wings' Dylan Larkin said that his suspension was warranted, but I had so much anger. This was published yesterday, so go ahead and check out the link in the description. What we're talking about here is the second incident involving Dylan Larkin, not involving Jamie Benn, but instead involving Mathieu Joseph of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, if you just need a little bit of an update here, Jamie Benn ended Dylan Larkin's season last year in 2020-2021, where after a face-off he jammed his stick into the spine of Dylan Larkin. Larkin missed the remainder of the season. He had to spend months rehabbing this, and it was not pleasant. So you could definitely understand his anger when he got hit in the back of the head by Mathieu Joseph earlier this week, last week, in the Tampa Bay-Detroit game, as Larkin went headfirst into the boards. He was filled with so much anger, as you can hear in the headline right here, which is why he stood up and he clocked Joseph right in the head with his gloves on and everything, thus leading to the one-game suspension which he served in the Detroit-Vancouver game. Now, this article is an entire interview done with Dylan Larkin. It was his media presser yesterday, kind of talking about everything that went down, and just hearing the captain's response to the suspension from the league and talking about the Joseph incident in general. Obviously, the Jamie Benn story plays a part in this, in that it's a contextual setup to what happened the other night, but it's not really about Jamie Benn anymore. But again, if you want to go ahead and look at yesterday's video talking about the Jamie Benn situations, and I say situation with an S at the end because, yeah, that's plural right there, then go ahead, watch yesterday's video. But this is what Detroit Red Wings captain Dylan Larkin says about everything that went down in the Tampa Bay game. It was an unfortunate play, the whole thing. I really felt Joseph could have let up on that play. He had enough time to see my numbers and make a different decision. I was very much disappointed in myself afterwards, and disappointed for the team. Because if you don't remember, yeah, they lost in overtime after having 3-goal leads twice in the game. But I also think enough is enough. I've been through some tough times and I just felt the pain and immediately thought, here we go again. I got up and reacted, and I'll deal with the punishment. I dealt with the punishment. I'm very eager to move on. I'm very relieved it wasn't anything serious. I served my suspension and I'm ready to get back out there. Now, before we go forward with this interview, because there's a lot more quotes that I wanted to read, good on Dylan Larkin, you know? There's a reason why the Red Wings have this guy as their captain. There's a reason why this guy is the one who mans the ship. He is able to take accountability for his actions in the most Detroit Red Wings way possible. Saying, yeah, I got angry. That's what happened, and I clocked the guy because of it, and I'm disappointed in myself due to my actions. It was very unfortunate, but I'm ready to move on. I'm not going to say that I was in the right. I was very clearly wrong. I had a punishment, and I dealt with it. Definitely love to see the accountability there. It's honestly kind of funny because not every NHL captain displays those types of qualities. Dylan Larkin certainly is one of the better ones in that respect. Larkin and Joseph have indeed made amends because they texted apologies to one another, and they expressed a wish to put the incident in the past. Larkin was disciplined by the NHL on Friday and then missed the game against the Vancouver Canucks. Larkin says that he thinks the suspension was indeed warranted. Hits like that happen, you have to do something different to try to fight them or whatever. It was too aggressive, and I lost my cool for a split second by clocking him in the face. The article then brings up Jamie Benn, surprise, surprise, giving the context to the entire situation over here. And I don't want to go out there and make it entirely about Jamie Benn, but this is what Dylan Larkin says about the recovery from the Jamie Benn hit, which we discussed in detail yesterday. It was a tough 6-7 months, Larkin said. I had some tough nights, and I wanted to do something about it so bad. There was so much anger. My buddies asked me to golf all summer, and I couldn't go golfing, I couldn't go on boats. I don't want to have a sob story. That went through my head quickly. Maybe I thought about what if something happens, I'm going to do something about it, but I can't act like that. I can't lash out like that. 6-7 months, dude. Takes a toll. Definitely does. So, for Dylan Larkin and the retaliation of the Jamie Benn thing, he kind of had his entire summer taken away from him, didn't he? Wasn't able to go out, hang out with his buds, wasn't able to actually do things, and that 6-7 month period of not doing much and just trying to rehab, that can get to a person. So, to have something like the Joseph situation occur where it's like, oh darn, I got hit in the back of the neck again, I just went through like an entire half year's worth of recovery. You're telling me that Mathieu Joseph is going to sneak up behind me, he's going to skate towards me, not let up on this hit, and he's going to inflict the same kind of damage that Jamie Benn did to me? Yeah, there's a reason why he got upset. Now, I said this back in a video. I'm not sure which video it was. It was a video where we did talk about the Larkin-Joseph situation. I'm not sure if it was necessarily yesterday's video, though. Yeah, my short-term memory is fantastic, if you couldn't already tell. But it's one of those situations where Dylan Larkin was certainly in the wrong for clocking Joseph in the head, but that action was certainly understandable. Like, contextually speaking, I honestly am not sure if I could have been able to resist doing the same thing myself if I was in that situation. And I'm pretty sure you would have been too. So, just for Dylan Larkin to go out there and admit everything and say to the media, yeah, we texted each other amends and we want to put this behind us, very positive. Very, very positive and mature discussion right there, I guess you could say. It's just, when you learn about everything else that happened, about the recovery, 6-7 months, it really makes you feel bad for the guy, doesn't it? He does say that there was a conversation with the league about the discipline for Jamie Benn and everything, but he says he doesn't know what he can and cannot say. To end off the article, though, Dylan Larkin does say enough is enough with teams pushing us around. We have to stand up for ourselves. There are a lot of bad hits, a lot of questionable hits, and it puts the referees in tough spots. You see reactions that are not great. We have to stick up for each other. We can't lose our cool, but we have to stick up for each other. I feel in the room, with the guys. We're there for each other. We have others' backs, and we're coming together really nicely. You see it on the ice. Now, I will say, on that final note, when it comes to the Red Wings standing up for each other and being there for themselves, yeah, that's kind of what's going on. Have you seen the previous few games the Red Wings have played? This hockey team is taking absolutely no BS from anybody, which I honestly cannot say I've seen super consistently in the past few years of Red Wings hockey. Like, sure, there's always that feistiness that goes around because, you know, you're playing for Detroit, you've got Bertuzzi on the ice, sometimes you got Giovanni Smith, but this team was getting involved, specifically in the game against Vancouver, almost every play. You saw a lot of hits that they didn't like. Connor Garland on Zadina, Oliver Ekman-Larsson with the cheap shot, Oliver Ekman-Larsson on the boards too. And by the end of that Red Wings Vancouver game, it was really just super chippy and confrontational, and these teams were not willing to back down. And that's something that I really do admire to see when you have hockey games that get into that kind of state where some teams and some players are just able to up the intensity and make sure that they're getting their message heard. They're not willing to get pushed around, and they're not willing to allow the other team to walk over them. They're going to stand up for themselves, and Dylan Larkin kind of embodied that entire sentiment in this press conference earlier today, and of course he kind of displayed that for himself in the Mathieu Joseph situation in general. So, talk to me in the comments, what do you think about Larkin's response, the captain's return to the team, and how exactly he spoke about Mathieu Joseph, the Tampa Bay Lightning situation, as well as his post-Jamie Benn comments, I guess you could say as well. There is indeed a lot to unpack, so a link is going to be in the description to the Detroit Free Press article. Go ahead and check it out, read the quotes for yourself. There are a few other quotes that we did not read in this video, so if you want a little bit more extra content, then go ahead and check out that link. Talk to me in the comments, though. What do you think? I hope you enjoyed this British 99. And bye.